You did everything right and still feel stuck. You followed the rules. You made responsible choices. You avoided the obvious mistakes. And yet, when you zoom out, it doesn't feel like you're moving forward. It feels like you're maintaining, holding things together, treading water in a very respectable way. That feeling isn't random, and it isn't personal. There's a middle-class money trap nobody really talks about, because from the outside, it looks like success. From the inside, it feels like a ceiling you can't quite touch, but can't see either. By the end of this video, you'll be able to name that trap, understand what it quietly takes from people, and see your own financial life with more clarity and control. This matters because most financial lives don't fail dramatically. They stall quietly. Most people don't blow up their finances. They don't gamble everything away. They don't make one huge, catastrophic mistake. Instead, they do something much more common. They settle into stability and never question where it leads. That's where the trap lives. The villain here isn't debt. It isn't spending. It isn't ignorance. It's something more subtle. Let's call it the comfort trap. The comfort trap forms when life becomes stable enough that change no longer feels necessary. You earn enough to cover your bills. Your lifestyle feels reasonable. Your stress is manageable. Nothing feels urgent. And when nothing feels urgent, the system quietly pushes you toward preservation instead of progress. You start optimizing for smoothness, for predictability, for not rocking the boat. Again, none of this feels wrong. It feels mature, responsible, adult. But the comfort trap doesn't hurt you up front. It charges interest over time. One of the biggest misconceptions in personal finance is the idea that stability naturally turns into wealth. It doesn't. Stability and wealth are built by different forces. Stability comes from balance, income matching expenses, risk being minimized, life staying predictable. Wealth comes from imbalance, money being deployed, time doing heavy lifting, and uncertainty being tolerated. The comfort trap convinces people they're on a wealth path when they're actually just very good at staying in place. This is where lifestyle stability quietly turns into a ceiling. As income grows, life improves in reasonable ways. Not extravagantly, not irresponsibly, just nicer. A better place to live, more convenience, less friction. Each upgrade makes sense, and that's why they're dangerous, because every new normal increases the amount of income required to keep life feeling okay. Over time, your flexibility shrinks, not because you're reckless, but because your life is now built to require consistency. That's the first thing the comfort trap takes from people: options. When options shrink, so does your ability to play the long game. You become more sensitive to short-term risk, more dependent on steady income, less willing to endure temporary discomfort. And slowly, without realizing it, your financial decisions become defensive. Not bad, defensive. The system loves this: a functional worker, a reliable spender, a contained saver. But wealth doesn't grow in contained systems. Here's the part most people miss. The middle class isn't poor because people don't work hard enough. It's constrained because the default path rewards comfort faster than it rewards compounding. The default timeline says, get stable, stay stable, repeat for decades. But compounding doesn't care how stable you feel. It cares how early, how consistently, and how exposed you are. The comfort trap doesn't stop you from earning. It delays the moment when your money starts working harder than you do, and delay is expensive. Let's look at a simple scenario. Two people earn similar incomes. One builds a very stable life early, predictable expenses, conservative choices, minimal volatility. The other delays some comfort, keeps costs flexible, accepts uneven years, builds long-term exposure. For a long time, the first person looks more successful, calmer, more settled, less stressed. Then time does what time always does. One person has options, the other has obligations. No drama, no disaster, just compounding, pulling paths apart. That's the invisible ceiling most people never realize they're under. So how do you deal with the comfort trap? Not by blowing up your life, not by rejecting stability, but by becoming conscious of what stability is costing you. Here's a simple question that reframes everything. Is this decision optimizing for comfort or for optionality? Comfort reduces today's friction. Optionality increases tomorrow's freedom. Both matter, but they are not the same thing. Some practical shifts that actually help. First, understand your fixed costs, not to shame them, but to see how much of your future is already committed. Second, stop confusing safe with productive. Some things feel safe precisely because they're not moving. Third, make sure at least part of your financial system prioritizes growth over smoothness, automated, boring, long-term. And finally, revisit your definition of normal every few years. What once felt like progress can quietly turn into a constraint. The comfort trap only works when it's invisible. Once you can name it, you can negotiate with it. You're not behind. You're not bad with money. You're not failing. You've been operating inside a system that rewards stability louder than it rewards freedom. Now you see that, and that shift from unaware to informed, from reactive to intentional, is where real financial progress actually begins.